Hi divers, vintage divers, it's Alec Peirce here from Vintage Scuba with another couple of weird things from the old days to show you. Now we did a video, Kevin just reminded me a while ago, about fins, weird fins, how they've changed over the years. And they sure have changed over the years. Let me show you just two fins today. One fin I want to concentrate on because it's really interesting. This is an old fin, old style. This is actually a modern reproduction. I do have quite a few of these fins real in boxes from the 50s. Yes, from the 50s. These are heavy, heavy rubber fins. Yeah, these are heavy fins. Yeah, you can take some weight off your weight belt if you're wearing these fins. They don't float, trust me. And these are an interesting fin. First of all, you'll notice that these fins have left and right. There have been more than a few fins over the years that had left and right. There was actually a fairly modern fin made by Tusa a few years ago, and they were left and right footed. If you put them on the wrong side, then when you fin, you go backwards. No, I'm kidding. But they're left and right footed, and these are left and right footed. They looks like a whale fin, you see, as you're finning along. Anyway, that's not the big deal about them. They're just an old style of fin, a real fin. Looks like a frog fin. I'm suspected Owen, when he sat down to design this fin, that's the man's name, Owen Churchill. When he sat down to design this fin, he probably took a look at some pictures, maybe looked at a whale, maybe looked at some frog feet, and he said to himself, wow, you know, frogs really kick well underwater. Yeah, this is what he made, okay? Just a neat old rubber fin. One size fits almost everybody. They had about 3 sizes. We used to joke about that, 3 sizes. Too big, too small, and close. Anyway, if you were lucky enough that your foot fit perfect, and it was nice soft rubber in the pocket, a strap, no adjustment, that was it. If the fin fit, you were lucky. But these fins are quite famous. The Churchill fin. I have a couple of original pair, right from Owen Churchill. After a few years, a company by the name of, who was it, Voigt? I think it was AMF Voigt, bought the Churchill fin and produced it from that time on. However, this is the fin, and this is one that we actually showed you just for a few seconds in that previous video a couple of years ago about fins. And this is the fin that's pretty interesting. I'm just going to show you this fin because as you probably know, some of you, I'm slowly but surely selling off my vintage gear. I don't really have much use for it other than making these videos, which I really enjoy. And so somebody asked if I had a pair of Caravelle fins. And I said, yeah, I do. A pair of US divers Caravelle fins. And I said, I do. And he said, well, I'd love to get a pair of those. Those were great fins. I'd like to get them and still use them. And I got thinking about that and I said, well, I'll get these out. I'll do this quick video on them, explain what they are, and then I'll sell them to this gentleman. And I got thinking about why they were so special. They don't look special. They were actually a pretty modern design. Now, these are from the, I'm going to guess these are from the mid-70s. That's a fairly accurate guess. Could be early, could be late, but somewhere in there. And they have a pretty standard rubber pocket. You can see it's a full foot fin. That is to say, there's no strap. It's a pocket. It's like a shoe. You put your foot in this rubber, soft rubber pocket. And then they have a pretty standard blade. You can see the blade is pretty straightforward. Nothing special about it. These fins are used. You can see the scratches on there. They're pretty well used. So what's the big deal? Well, they were made by US divers. This particular one is actually an original. So its name on this is Spirotechnique, Technisub, which was US divers in Europe. They actually, Spirotechnique or Technisub, actually made a lot of the products, and they were imported into the United States and sold under the US divers Aqualung banner. So that's what these are, and it's pretty straightforward. You got a little picture of a diver on the front, and Caravelle, the name of the fin. What's the big deal? Well, if you look very closely, I want you to take a look in here, Kev, if you would. Can you zoom right in here? If you take a look right here, you'll see something interesting. This plastic, this is hard black plastic, fin blade comes up. And there seems to be a T-strap right there. What the heck's that all about, a T-strap? You see that? It's got this funny thing up here as well. What is that? Well, let me show you what that is. Are you ready? Watch this. You see that? These fins are unique. There is no other fin that I'm aware of in all the years I've been diving, 60 years, no other fin that I'm aware of that had a rubber boot that fits your foot, just like the rubber boots you wear right now. They're not foam neoprene, they're rubber. but you could actually put this on your foot and walk around with it. It was great because it's quite solid bottom on here. So any shells or coral or rocks or anything else, protected your foot. And you could walk on the pier or on a dive boat. There's rubber so it didn't slip. And then when you were ready to go diving, you picked up your blades. You didn't pick up your fins, you picked up your blades, right? And you slipped your blades into the slots on the side. Can you see what I'm doing here, Kevin? You put your blades on, and then you just pushed it on nice and tightly, and you see what that T-bar does down at the bottom? I don't want to do this too hard. These are old, and I promised them to a gentleman, but you push that down nice and tightly, and that T-bar goes into the bottom, and you see how it slots in firmly? Can you see that change there? And then the extensions, they come all the way up, and it pops out here and latches it into place. Just that simple. Your boot, nice rubber protective boot, and you pull the blade off, and off you go. All you had to do is have a spare blade. I don't know if these came in other colors. I do know they came in black. But wouldn't that be neat? One day you have red, the next day is blue, bright orange, yellow, and so on. But anyway, there you go. They were at its time famous. U.S. divers, if you look at the catalogs from the 60s and 70s, I think maybe even the 60s, I'm thinking out loud here, you will see the U.S. divers' famous Caravelle fin. This may be the only place you ever see a real Caravelle, unless you go to a good scuba museum, but now you've seen it. One of those things from the past that I almost wish we still had. I still dive, and this would be pretty handy. A good fin, good solid, snappy fin, and a separate boot. Might be kind of neat. Anyway, there you go, guys. Something from the past, something interesting, vintage scuba that you may not see again. Caravelle fin. Okay, you take care. I got some more neat stuff coming up, so keep watching. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.